In this video, I'm going to be ranking every single sales funnel you can use as a coach, consultant, or mentor online in this new era of info in 2025. So if I show you right here, I'm going to be going ahead and ranking these from literally amazing, proven to work, if they're mid, to can work, to need some serious skill, and of course to do not use this. This is a complete waste of your time, so you know exactly which funnel to use, and so you can start off on the right foot within your info business. All right, so let's get into it. First of all, we're going to start off with a free training funnel. Now, the free training funnel was popularized by Brez Scales, and as you can see, it's this is his new version of it. He has a little bit of a image of your video, and this kind of jukes people to click on this video. So once they click on unlock the free training, or they click on the video, it takes them to an opt-in where they put in their name, email, phone number, and then actually opt into this and then unlock the actual MIDI course here. Afterwards, they're redirected to this new page where they're actually allowed to watch the video, and then on the same page, they can book in a call using a form where they will be going ahead and redirected to a Calendly or whatever other booking software people are using. There's just a ton of social proof on that page as well, along with video testimonials and all that jazz. Very basic funnel, and I'm pretty sure you guys have seen this like everywhere. And I'd say this honestly is like literally amazing. This is like the best funnel you can use at the moment. Obviously, some people might say it's a bit saturated, so you want to put it into proven to work or mid. I just think if you can get this right, if you can get all the social cues right, if you know everything that needs to go on a landing page properly in full detail, like somebody who's been experienced with this stuff, you will easily be able to get very high conversion rates on your free training pages. Because at the same time, since everybody else is doing it, there's also a sea of garbage free training funnels out there. So if you can just stand out within that sea of garbage, you will very easily be able to convert like hotcakes. So moving on to the next funnel. Now, next one is a launch or waitlist funnel. This is kind of like what Iman Gaji did with his Make Money Online Challenge 2.0, kind of a live virtual event. So they join up for a little bit of a waitlist coming up to the event. They go into an opt-in page here. They give your name, their email, their phone number, blah, blah, blah. Afterwards, they get upsold here, and then downsold later. And then, of course, they will be emailed as much as possible. Now, here, the main thing you want to focus on is emails and different touch points where you can reach the audience in between the launch or them booking and in between the launch. So you can remind them that, hey, this is when the launch is happening. Hey, you can upsell here or whatever, right? You want to remind them of all of those things. So the way you can do this, I really liked Iman's strategy of using the WhatsApp groups or Telegram groups, because these will just build a ton of hype and you have very, very close access to people who are in your niche, because a lot of people do check their WhatsApp or Telegram almost as much as their messages. So on WhatsApp and Telegram, really good idea. And your main touch points are going to be used through email within this specific funnel. So email is going to be your main driver here. So you need to get your emails right. It's very important to get your emails right, basically. Now, the free event funnel, I'd say it goes somewhere in, I guess it can work. So free event funnel, it can work, but there's a lot of caveats to it, because for a free event funnel, you need a very, very, very big audience to actually make it remotely profitable, or big at least. Plus, there's a lot of infrastructure that goes into it, all that jazz. So I'd say actually more like needs some serious skill, because there's so much infrastructure that goes into it and so much can go wrong that you need to be very skilled if you are even thinking of trying to do a free event funnel like Iman did. Now, next funnel is a straight book a call funnel. What this is basically you go from your content over here or whatever mechanism you have, and you literally just redirect people straight to a type form. And then they go through that type form and then they book in a call through a booking page. This is basically a VSL funnel, except with the VSL stripped out. This type of funnel is, for example, I took this from Mark Builds Brands. I really don't get it. It's just generally really bad. It's never going to work for cold audiences. For warm audiences, your audience needs to be really devoted and really warm to even remotely be likely to convert using this funnel, because there's no VSL, there's no human interaction, so they're so much more likely to just not do it. So I don't really know why you wouldn't just film like a 5 to 10 minute VSL at the minimum just to, get them to buy. You're going to skyrocket your conversion rates. I don't get why you would just keep the type form there unless you really, really didn't like money. So I would say this goes in the do not use this tier. Like please never use straight book a call funnels. Next is a paid event funnel. Now, this is kind of what TJR is running right now. So the shortcut to day trading success, the whole mentorship thing, or the combine, this thing. And this is exactly what he's running. And basically, it's going to be like some kind of challenge that they have to pay to actually join. For example, for TGRs, it's $100. For the VIP and general admission is about $50. This can be anywhere between like $10 to even $1,000 just to get onto this event. I would highly recommend keeping it at the lower end if you want to use this or something. And of course, a guarantee is a must on these kinds of things. For specifically a paid event funnel, it's kind of like a free event funnel, just a little bit better. So I'd say I'll put it in can work. Paid event funnel, it doesn't need as much infrastructure. It will not get as many people, obviously, but you also get a lot of cash up front just from people opting in. Obviously, you'll get a ton of cash up front, unlike the free event funnel, for which you have to actually wait for the event to happen, all that jazz. And I think the paid event funnel can be profitable for people who are a bit smaller than people who are trying to do a free event funnel. So for example, people who are doing free event funnels, you need at least $1 million. For paid event funnels, I'd say anywhere between 200 to $1 million is a pretty good range for a paid event funnel. So 200K plus if you have that many followers. If you have subscribers, we're talking maybe 100K minimum plus. I would generally not even recommend a paid event funnel for YouTube or anything like that. I'd only recommend this for something where you need to warm up your audience, for example, on Instagram, TikTok, or something like that. So generally, paid event funnels, they can work. I wouldn't really recommend them too much though. Now, next funnel is the YouTube VSL funnel. Now, this is actually the same strategy that Iman used to actually make a $10 million VSL, which was quite crazy. And I don't have a specific picture of it right now, but it's somewhere. You can Google it. You should be able to find some copies. He actually took it down, so you should be able to find some copies or reposts of it still. Now, the way this works is that you'll basically just be linking a specific video from all of your other normal videos. So you have your normal content, and every single piece of content in its description, you always link to this specific video, and you disguise it as being kind of a course or something like that, something giving away value. And you do give away value within it, but it's actually mainly a VSL. And the main goal with this specific VSL is that you want to go ahead and try to sell the audience on the business model that you're teaching them. You don't want to sell them on your product right now, because when people are on your YouTube, they're mostly not really even like solution aware at this point. So you want to go ahead and get them solution aware, sell them on the business model. Once you've sold them on the business model and they know that solution, and then afterwards you can start selling them, hey, on the actual product you have. Because now at this point, once they're solution aware, they're like, I need to do this. But you've educated them on that specific solution, but you haven't given them an actual way to exercise the solution. Because even if you know that you need some kind of software, if that software does not exist, you can't pay anybody to get it. So right now you think that specific method does not exist. So instantly you're going to be like, at the end of this VSL, you're going to be like, hey, I have a product that does this exact thing. Check it out. Link in the description, blah, blah, blah. And instantly everybody's going to be like, oh my God, my single biggest pain, he solved it. And I'm getting so much clarity from this video. I have to buy it from this guy. They check out the link in the description. You get them to book a call. Easy stuff. Now, this specific funnel, I would say if you have a mainly YouTube thing, or like a YouTube fan base or a YouTube audience, I would say a YouTube VSL funnel is proven to work for sure. And I would highly recommend something like this. Not highly recommend, but I would be fine with using some kind of YouTube VSL funnel. I like it. I like the whole system of it. I wouldn't put it into literally amazing, but it is definitely proven to work. And so you're not going to be losing anything if you actually try it out. So I'd say, go for it. Now, next funnel is the webinar funnel. Now, a webinar funnel is something like what Shelby Sapp is running with her regular webinars. And with webinar funnels, the whole battle is not this part. A lot of people obsess over the landing page. Nobody gives a crap about the landing page. Once you get it decent, it doesn't matter anyways. Okay. So once you get the landing page, you get the opt-in, you get the actual, special message to the person. This is where the real battle starts. You need to remind people like absolute hell about the webinar. And even once you remind them, you need to be able to convert them on that actual webinar, which is a whole nother skill other than almost any other skill. Like it has nothing to do with closing, it has nothing to do with marketing. It's like you're basically making a VSL on the fly. It's quite difficult generally to make a killer webinar, really, really difficult. So a webinar funnel, it does need some serious skill to actually run really good. So for a webinar funnel specifically, I would say if you were doing a manual webinar, so if you're doing manual webinars, they're pretty mid. Okay, so manual webinars, I'll put them in mid, mid or decent. And for like if you're trying to do auto webinars, this needs some serious skill, like really, really serious skill. So what I mean by that is because manual webinars, the way that they work is that you are live there, and just being live gives you that magic to the audience. So audiences are way more likely to convert just because you are live and you're talking to them live. But if you remove that live aspect, it becomes 10 times harder to actually convert people on webinars. So that's why webinar funnels are really high maintenance, because you always have to prep for every single webinar. And if you want to do an auto webinar, if you had like a top tier manual webinar and you convert it into an auto webinar, it would be only okay, like so and so as an auto webinar. And you would have to improve it even further, because auto webinars instantly like half the performance of any webinar basically. So you need to crush your manual webinars first and be really good at them. Then you're only going to be able to move on to auto webinars. So if that sounds like something you want to do, you can do them. They're really good if you have a pretty sizable audience, anywhere between 50 to 200K or whatever, 50 plus K in your audience. I would say webinar funnels are a pretty decent choice for you. And if you think you can actually grind out that skill, and of course, if you don't think you can do that and you actually want somebody else to do all of this for you, link in the description below. I'll leave one down below so you can DM me on Instagram. We can go ahead and talk. I actually help coaches and consultants with an existing audience monetize that existing audience with an info product. So I help them scale, make money with the info product, and I help them scale to 100K plus months within info and actually capitalize on this huge gold rush. Anyways, back into the video. There's also the next funnel, which is the OOO funnel. This is the exact same funnel that Alex Hormozi was using for his recent launch. So OOO basically stands for opt-in right here. So for example, here's the opt-in. We've got them putting in their email, phone number, blah, blah, blah. And then after that, you have a offer after the opt-in. So once you've given them the offer, this is the main offer, right? So $30 was for the book. So he offered you the book, but in this VSL, he also offered a second option, and he added it as an order bump onto the main checkout page right here. So this order bump now upsold you into a $500 thing. And now he's not going to upsell you anymore from here. So he's going to move you into the main page where you get reminded, haha, blah, blah, blah. You know, you can join on the calendars, blah, blah, blah. Once you've joined on the calendars, once you show up to the event, he's then going to upsell you even further. So the OOO funnel is basically opt-in, offer, and then one-click upsell. So one click, I'll just call this one clicks. And a one-click upsell basically just means you have their credit card info. They've put everything in. They're just going to have to basically just click a button and then easily upsell. And it has a pretty decent take rate, maybe 10 to 15%, depending on how well you do a one click. And I really, really like this funnel in general. I feel like generally OOO funnels are possibly like just the godfather of VSLs or godfather of funnels. So I'd put them slightly above YouTube VSL funnels within the proven to work. Not slightly above, but a bit above, right? Quite a bit above. Because OOO funnels are probably the first funnel you think of when you're thinking of funnels in general. Like everybody thinks of an OOO funnel as the first funnel ever. And so generally these still work. They're crushing it. OOO funnels is something I would recommend generally. And I sometimes obviously implement these for my clients as well. Now, next is the book funnel. A book funnel is just basically self-explanatory. You have a VSL or something on the main page. You get them into a very, very cheap book, anywhere from $1 to $10, and they basically get that special offer where they can actually access the book. They give you their contact information, and then you also have an order bump to upsell them on this. Now, this funnel mostly relies on ascension and emails and copywriting in general. So I would really say that a book funnel needs some serious skill, just because you also have to think about the fact that you have to make a book, which will take you months, if not years. And then you also have to consider the fact that you have to publish that book, which is really expensive. You also have to think about the fact that if you mess up the launch of this specific book funnel, it's going to be pretty difficult to sell a book at all. And if you don't have results, what I mean by that is that if you don't have results by yourself, how are you going to sell somebody these book funnels? Because they're just going to be like, hey, you haven't even achieved anything. Why would I buy your book, right? So you need those results to actually sell the book funnel. So again, you need some serious skill for this specific funnel as well. Now, next funnel is the newsletter funnel. This is something that Dan Coe is running. It's basically a funnel where you get people to pay to be on your newsletter, and then you send them newsletter emails along with promotional emails as well that promote your other products, that try to upsell them into those specific products. For example, with Danco, he mostly upsells into Cortex AI and his books. Now, for the newsletter funnel, I would say this is kind of just a mid funnel. I actually, this goes into can work. I think it can work. It's just not something I think you should go for unless you're mostly a copywriting type of person. So what I mean by that is that if your brand, for example, with Danco, he is mainly about copywriting. He's a really skilled copywriter and his whole brand is a lot about copywriting. So if your brand was something like Danco's, you would want to have a copywriting-esque product, something that relies on copywriting. So it can work, but it has to depend on your specific personal brand and everything like that. Now, next is the zero sales call funnel. Now, what this is something that, well, for the example here, I'm giving James Smith, and the zero sales call funnel is pretty self-explanatory. You have a VSL on the page, you have a long-ass page selling the product with a ton of social proof, and then you just at the bottom give them the price on the page with no calls at all. With this kind of funnel, the main battle you're facing right now is mostly making your copywriting killer, having a ton of social proof. You need a ton of this social proof. You need a ton of skills. You need a ton of time in the game. You need very, very good marketing skills as well. And you need really, really good sales and copywriting skills as well. And you also need to script an extremely, extremely killer VSL. For all of these things together, they will allow this kind of page to convert about equally as a decent VSL funnel page. So for this specific type of funnel, I would say they're mid. Why? A lot of people will say, hey, oh my God, they're so bad, right? I'm not just talking about conversions here. It's also that we are humans. So it's going to be a big pain in the ass for you guys to be hopping on sales calls, dealing with a closing team, dealing with a setting team. So, I mean, if you did a native VSL funnel, that would remove all of that friction from your specific workflow. But at the same time, a native VSL funnel is going to be like half, if not more, worse than the actual alternative, which is sales calls. So it's going to be kind of up to you depending on what you value personally. So that's why I'll put this in the mid tier, but you definitely do need a lot of serious skill to actually get this to work. But this is mostly going to be in the mid tier. If you can dial in your VSL funnel, which I will talk about a basic VSL funnel soon as well. But if you can dial in a basic VSL funnel, you can, I would say, pivot to native VSL funnels and actually crush with it. Now, the next funnel is a challenge funnel. Now, a challenge funnel is pretty self-explanatory. It's just a funnel that funnels people into some kind of challenge that could be to win something, that could be to win obviously it's going to be to win something, but it could be to win a free trial. I mean, it can be on different scales. For specifically info, it's mostly going to be a lot of awards. You need to give away prizes and a grand prize. This is not e-com, so you can't give away free trials and crap like that. So you need to go ahead and make sure to give away some big grand prize that a lot of people want. For example, with Jordan Welch here, he gave away like a lot of money for this. Pretty sure, how much is it? Yeah, $100,000 cash prize. Yeah. So he would give away $100,000 cash if somebody actually, was able to generate the most revenue. Now, challenge funnels, they're huge, especially in the BizOps space, just because, well, they're not huge in general, but they're really good from what I've seen in the BizOps space, just for specifically larger creators. For example, if you're at anywhere between 50 to maybe anywhere above 50, I'd say you can start. I would recommend starting at a max of 200. So if you started at 200K, I would say that, yeah, that's like where I would think would be the safest bet, because then you would have enough people to actually join the challenge funnel to the point where your prizes wouldn't bankrupt you, right? So it's going to be kind of up to you guys. I think, so basically what challenge funnels also go into an opt-in, and then the main driving factor in a challenge funnel is the emails reminding them to hop on the calls or the events that you're going to be talking about. And the challenge funnel, you obviously just have to get them to show up. So if people can show up in the challenge funnel, you can later upsell them as well, because in every single challenge funnel, there will be also an event or calls. For example, with Jordan Welch, he had a ton of calls with him and a few guest speakers. But with these calls and everything, you have to just make sure that you get people to show up. So it's kind of like a webinar funnel, except with that challenge aspect added on. So it's kind of like a new and improved webinar funnel. With challenge funnels, again, I would say you need a 200K plus followers. If you, or subscribers would be maybe 50K plus subscribers for some kind of challenge funnel. So challenge funnels, I'd say, I mean, they're pretty mid. I'd say just they're all right. You can use them. They're decent. They get the job done. I personally don't generally use them too much. 90% of the time you'll use a free training funnel. Just as I said before, like 90% of the time I would almost always recommend free training funnels. So I'm just breaking down, hey guys, you have the options here to use these funnels. And I'm kind of breaking down, hey, which one do you think would be specifically for your offer? And of course, if you have any confusion about this and don't know which one would be best for your specific offer, DM me on Instagram, link is down below, and we can go ahead and talk. Now, next is the free community funnel. For the free community funnel, self-explanatory, there's a page, you get the social proof as well on the page, and then you get linked to some kind of a Discord group, and that's a free community. This is Casper SMCs, by the way, if you are wondering, that's the example I'm giving. Free community funnels, they're really good for trading offers just because of the specific things you need in trading. For example, like reminding people of trades. There's a lot of stuff in trading where you have to kind of get daily reminders, so it's actually worth it for people to be active within these communities. So free community funnels, I actually do like them. I like them a lot for offers that are, maybe you're getting traffic, let's say from Insta or TikTok. You have very not nurtured traffic. So you have very bad quality traffic. Free community funnels are really good at like just having good quality traffic in general, right? They're really good at getting good quality traffic in the door and making your traffic very good quality by nurturing it. So I would probably put this into proven to work. And if you think that, hey, I'm getting my traffic from these really bad sources, for example, Instagram or TikTok, and they're not very nurtured, I'm not getting good qualified leads, free community funnel could be something you could implement. And it's a pretty good idea in my personal opinion. Now, next funnel is the lead magnet funnel. Lead magnet funnels are basically funnels where you get an opt-in, you then get to download some kind of lead magnet. For example, here, this was basically a Miro board and other times, so this specific lead magnet was just giving away a ton of value. It's just a ICT course. Other lead magnets, for example, with Iman's event, the Make Money Online Challenge, sometimes they also try to sell the offer that they are in. What I mean by that is that when you get the workbook from Iman, this workbook's main goal is to get you to show up for the actual event. This was its main goal. And so it acted as a lead magnet that attracted a lot of people and gave them that false feeling of, hey, I'm getting value from this, when in actuality, they were giving their email to be sold to. And you can sometimes get away with using a YouTube video as a lead magnet as well. So lead magnet funnels are super easy to make, but there's a huge issue with them. They on their own, like, you should never use a lead magnet funnel on its own. If you use it on its own, it's just on do not use this. Never use a lead magnet funnel on its own. That's just dumb. It's not going to be a good funnel. There's two versions of this, right? So if you pair a lead magnet funnel with any one of these funnels on this page, it'll go straight up to proven to work up here. Otherwise, if you don't do that, if you just try to use a lead magnet funnel on its own, it's definitely sticking in do not use this. Never use a lead magnet funnel on its own, because you're never going to get good conversions with that. It's just not going to happen. So since we're talking about funnels on their own here, I'm going to leave it in do not use this right now. Now, next funnel is the DM funnel. The DM funnel is kind of what Cardinal Mason is doing. You also see, I think Samuel Millsap does this, I believe, as well. And so there's usually some kind of DMCTA in their bio. They sometimes have stories which also have the DMCTA. And you'll also see a lot of people online with these reels where they ask you to DM them something and then they send something over to you. All of those are DM funnels DM funnels. But you also have to differentiate DM funnels with lead magnet funnels, because a lot of people will tell you, hey, DM me this and I'll give you this. That is a lead magnet funnel. If somebody says DM me freelance or DM me X to start, that is not a lead magnet funnel. That is a DM funnel, if that makes any sense to you guys. But in DM funnels, basically you get funneled into the DMs, obviously. Somebody messages you that keyword, a setter responds, then they go into a conversation, blah, 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 and the setter tries to either book in a call or close in the DMs. Now, DM funnels, they're an interesting thing. So if you are really good at training setters, you might get some good success with these. Problem, DM closing is never going to happen unless you have a religiously devoted audience, basically. I've never really seen DM closes do very well. I personally don't do DM closes. I rarely ever use them in my clients' funnels. Almost always, if we're ever using a DM funnel, it's always going to be a book a call funnel. Because a book a call funnel, you literally just book a call from the DMs after you're qualified, and then, they hop on a call, kablamo, everybody's happy. Now, for the actual rating on DM funnels, I would say there's a few problems with them because, again, coming back to the point I was talking about before, DM closes are impossible. If you try to book them on a call, it's kind of awkward because somebody DMs you once, a setter responds in maybe 5 minutes if you have an actually good setter. Otherwise, most of you guys as setters are responding in like 2 hours, which is crazy. But if your setter responds in a decent amount of time, like 5 minutes, you'll wait another hour for the other person to respond, and then the setter again talks again, responds in 5 minutes, and then you wait another 2 hours, and by the time before you know, it's been like 5 days before you booked this guy onto a call. And there were so many touch points for that specific person to leave the funnel that is kind of like you're kind of farming lead loss, I guess, in a way. So DM funnels, they can work, but it is very, very dependent on your specific offer. Now, moving on to our last funnel of the day, it's going to be the book a call funnel. Now, book a call funnels are the most basic funnel ever. You have a VSL on a page with a title, same thing Charlie Morgan is using. You have your scheduled discovery call. You have a little booking page down here on the page. You sell them, give them a little bit of social proof, and then at the bottom of the page, another book your discovery call or whatever. Right. This is really average. I would say this is just proven to work. It works. It just does. All right. It's proven to work. I would say, just to reorder this a little bit in general, these aren't in specific order in terms of which are the best in each category, but they are that's a bit confusing what I just said, but what I mean is basically YouTube VSL funnels are not better than free community funnels, and free community funnels are not better than book call funnels. I'm just putting these in arbitrary areas just to illustrate. I'm not going to be like straight up numbering them at this point, but you get the point. So these are all proven to work. These are mid. These can work if you really want to work them, and these need some serious skill to actually work. And then these just don't, please don't use them. And then this one is absolutely literally amazing and the best funnel ever, basically. So anyways, that was the entire video, guys. I broke down every single funnel that I basically know about. Just like, obviously I know many more, but the main few funnels, there's a lot of renditions of each funnel, but I didn't want to get into all of those. So if you did see a funnel that I missed here and that you want to know about, go ahead and just DM me down below, or, just leave a comment down below. I'll answer all the comments. I look at all my comments, blah, blah, blah. If you are interested in working with me, go ahead and check the first link down below. DM me on Instagram. We can talk. I'm not going to try to hard close you in the DM. It's going to be me, not some kind of setter. I'm just going to talk to you, see if we can help you. If we can help you, we'll hop on a quick call. And on that call, we'll go ahead and see, ask you for details about your business and give you exact things we're going to do. Either way, you're going to get a ton of value. I'll point you in the right direction, even if we don't work together. So you're going to know exactly where to go, and you're going to get a ton of clarity from this call either way. So it's a no-brainer for you. Click the link down below, DM me on Instagram, and I'll help you scale your info business to 100K per month. Anywhere you're at right now, 100K plus per month, we're going to scale to. Now, if you don't want to do any of that and you just want to watch another one of my videos, go ahead and check this one out right here, because YouTube thinks that you'll like it. If you want to watch the whole funnel breakdowns playlist with upwards of $100,000 worth of sauce, it's going to be down below my face cam down here. And of course, if you do want to leave a like and subscribe, which I would appreciate, subscribe's in that little corner over there, the inferior corner to my face cam corner, but that inferior corner down there. And of course, down below the video is the like button. That is not inferior. That is very, very superior. You should click on that. Anyways, hoping to see you in this next video. Goodbye.